Welcome to your practice. Thanks for being here. So take a few moments to close your eyes, and I want you to just pay attention to your breath for a few minutes. So just watch your breath, watch the inhale and the exhale. And I'm curious if it's easier to inhale or to exhale. Just pay attention for a few rounds of breath, notice. Noticing if you're breathing out more through the right or the left side of your nostrils. And then just generally assessing the state of your breath. Does breathing feel labored? Does it feel easeful? How would you qualify the breath in which you're experiencing right now? And then just continue breathing just as you are. And now just pay attention to your mind. So I want you just to notice the clarity of your mind or the non-clarity if that's happening. Kind of noticing if you're having a lot of thoughts or just a few thoughts. And noticing kind of the density of your thoughts. So sometimes we have like really dense, heavy thoughts. Sometimes they're like, you know, little flickers of just many thoughts coming in and out. So just kind of feeling into your thoughts if they could have a texture or a density or weight. And then you can just slowly continue to breathe. So today we're going to link these two together and be curious about when we practice, how will our mind and the state of our mind be affected by the capacity of our breath? And we're going to work with the lung channel today. So the lung channel in Chinese medicine starts kind of at the lateral chest, and it's going to come down your arm through your thumb line. Okay, so that's your lung channel. And so the lung channel, of course, like governs breath, right? And breath is, in Chinese medicine, it's qi. In yoga, we talk about prana. And so this is our life force. This is energy. And this is the layer of the body in which we breathe in breath to take in energy, to take in life force, to take in vitality, and that we breathe out to release. And both of these are really important. So on a broader level, the breath is a way of kind of balancing the body, right? With taking in the new, so new information, new energy, and also releasing, right? Old energy. Are waste in some ways. And so it's interesting to notice, right, if we are breathing in a lot and we're not breathing out, that we might be accumulating, might be holding on to things, right? So we could be holding on to things in our mind. We can be holding on to things energetically. And then some of us are in a perpetual exhale, right? We exhale a lot. We might be in like a perpetual state of sighing. Maybe that's a little bit of depression or kind of low energy where we're deficient, right? We need to take in more. So I'm just curious, when you noticed your breath, kind of what you noticed. Were you inhaling more? Were you exhaling more? Was it balanced, right? And this clarity of our mind, right? Because the yoga texts teach that when our breath is more even and full and we're able to balance the breath, the mind feels more balanced. And that when the breath is labored or uneven, the mind's troubled. And so we're going to work with that because right now we've got Mercury in retrograde. So astrologically, what's going on is about a lot of purging, right, of old mental stuff, old even emotional stuff, right? We're trying to be able to be more clear with speaking from our hearts, from our emotions, from being more truthful in how we present ourselves. And so part of that's, right, purging out old stuff that keeps us from that. But Mercury rules our communication and our general way of learning and seeing and perceiving the world, right? So in order to see fresh new eyes, we have to be able to take in new things, right? And let go and discard. So we're going to work with that astrologically today, mentally, emotionally, energetically, okay? So just take all that in, take a moment, and we're going to do one more set of breath work. And so depending on if you were feeling like you need to discard, like you feel heavy, I want you to breathe in for 4 counts, hold for 8, breathe out for 16. And we've done this one before, right? So it's a longer exhale. And if that's too much to remember, just breathe out longer, okay? You don't have to hold for 8 if that doesn't feel good. And then those of you that feel like you need to take in a little bit more, I want you to take in a big breath, hold at the top, and then just a slow, easy exhale, okay? So I want you to decide what you need, and we're gonna take 10 rounds of breath, okay? So deciding if you need a longer inhale, holding, and then exhaling, just let it happen. And those of you that need to exhale a little bit are gonna breathe in just for a little bit and exhale longer, okay? So just take your time, and when you're ready, begin. Soften shoulders and jaw, soften tongue. So you want to let that breath be unlabored, right? So if it's causing stress or tension in the body, then shorten the duration, either way. You can keep your mouth closed, or if you like open mouth exhales, that's fine too. Few more rounds. And then when you're ready, finish your last cycle. And then I want you to extend one of your hands so that we can palpate along the lung channel. So this is my thumb, palm up. From the tip of my thumb down that thumb line, just palpate and see if you get any tenderness. So some people have it right kind of where the nail kind of reaches the outside edge of the thumb. So you can kind of press anything that's tender. And then I also notice in my own body, right where the wrist crease like meets that tissue, that can be really tender for me. And it can be different for you. So palpating anywhere along that kind of thumb line and even down into the wrist a bit, that's all the lung channel. And so if you're having difficulty breathing anytime during the day, or if you kind of notice the breath being labored, these are places that you can touch. It's acupressure, and you can actually feel relief sometimes from that. It's good also for like asthma, if you're having allergies, things like that too, okay? So just want to show you that. These are like self-help tools that we can use. And it's kind of interesting day to day, right? You can even notice sides of the body being different, okay? So that's that lung channel. And so you can remember that maybe today and the rest of the week to kind of play with that. Okay, so you're gonna take off your block if you have it. And I'm just gonna sit flat on my heels, and I'm gonna reach back, and we're gonna start to open up. So my fingers are forward, you can turn them out. And if you need a block or anything underneath, you can. But let it go ahead and shine that chest open. Opening up. So remember that lung channel starts at that lateral side of the chest. So really getting that chest to open up, and take some deep breaths as you do that. Remembering whatever it is you're needing today, and more of an exhale to help foster that release and recirculation, or a generous inhale. And then one more breath. And then slowly coming up and forward. We're going to come up to cat-cow, so coming over here. And we're going to go really slow with cat-cow. So as the pelvis tips forward and you pull the heel of the hands back, can you really open up through the heart line? So can you feel your collarbone spread? Can you feel your neck extend? So really try to grow it a little bit longer. And then nice and slow as you press your palms down, your knees down, nice and slow, articulate. Letting the head go, breathing into the back of the heart. And then go one more time, nice and slow. Heel of the hand pulls back. Let those collarbones really stretch. One more breath. And then all the way out. And then sit on back on your heels or cross-legged, and then walk that right arm out to the side, left hand behind your head, and take a little side stretch. And do try to open up the elbow as much as you can so that you can feel, again, that left kind of outer rim of the chest to open. It's a big side stretch, and then let the elbow fold down towards the floor and twist a little bit so you get to the back body. Let that elbow feel like it's heavy. And then open one more time, and this time spiral the heart up a bit so you get a little bit more opening. And then let that left arm come down to the floor, and then we'll switch. So right hand goes behind the head, little side stretch. So I'm bending my left elbow. And again, you could be cross-legged if you prefer. Really stretching into the side ribs. And then letting the right elbow come towards the floor, and I'm turning and twisting my body. And I want to feel like the elbow has a counterweight to kind of open up the back of the shoulders, kind of the back of the lungs. And then back up, and this time kind of spiral and open it, a little bit of a twist. And then slowly coming up. And then go ahead and come up to kneeling. So both hands behind the chest and kind of just lifting up, pressing the hips forward, and just a gentle back bend, just a gentle back bend. Just kind of stretching the frontal hips. And then go over to the right a bit, side stretch. And then over to the left, make sure you're not holding your breath. And then back over to the right. Really opening up the elbows over to the left. And then straight back up, and then releasing your arms up, out, and to your sides. Roll your shoulders and then slowly come up. We're just going to do one little chest stretch. So if you can find a wall space, you don't have to be very close. Play with it. My right arm is going to extend back behind me at a kind of a high diagonal. But one thing to notice is the arm is behind the chest. So I do want to kind of play with, I can be close, I can be far. And I'm going to tiny squat. So with my left hand, my hand goes to my chest, and I try to open that chest tissue away from my palm. So my palm is flat. So again, play with your distance. If you don't have a wall, just stand and take your arm out to the side. And I want you to feel, breathe into where your left hand touches the side of your chest. And then stretch your right palm away. And try to connect your breath and the prana from your left hand to your right. And see if there's any spaces along that lung channel, which remember runs around that bicep line, that inner bicep thumb line. See if you can feel anything that's congested in that area. And I mean that energetically. Like, does it get stagnant at your elbow? Is it right around your hand? Is that your bicep? And just with your awareness, see if you can move that energy so that it travels freely up into the tip of the thumb. And for a little different sensation, roll the palm up so that you have the palm facing kind of the heavenly side. And then you'll just kind of feel that, give a little bit different sensation. You kind of roll the thumb line down a bit if you want. One more breath. You can sink a little lower. And then let that go. And then just stand in Tadasana for a moment before we switch, and just noticing, right, if you feel anything different between the right and the left. Even noticing the effects on your breath. Like maybe it feels easier to take a deep breath on the right. Okay, then we'll go to the left. So palm up. Again, you have to vary. If you're really close, that's going to be pretty intense, less intense further away. So we use our first few poses. So be gentle. So sink on and make sure the shoulder is behind you. And then right hand at that kind of border of the left chest tissue, just to allow myself to have something to breathe into. So nice deep breaths. And then tracking your breath from your right hand on your chest out into that left thumb line. And just kind of noticing where the awareness kind of drifts because it can't stay there. Or because you feel like the energy stops. And it's okay if it doesn't move all the way to your thumb. We're just trying to try and put our awareness there. Sometimes even just putting the awareness there is enough, right? And then the energy just moves. Because where our attention goes, the energy flows. Now, if you want to roll your thumb up and your palm to face the ceiling, the sky, go ahead and do that. Keep the neck relaxed and the tongue. Sink into your strong legs. And then one more before you take that arm out and back. And then just stand in Tadasana for a moment, feeling both sides. Yeah. And then we're going to head onto the floor. So if you have a strap and you'd like to use it, you can. It's not really necessary. But if I have the strap, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to run it around the palm line. And I'm going to have it so that I can help stretch my arms out. So I'll kind of use the strap as an ability to really reach. If you have a short strap, sometimes this is hard. So it's, again, you don't have to have it. It's right at my shoulder blades. So you can place a block between your legs, or you can just have your heels together, but do let the knees part. So first of all, just feeling that shoulder blades press into the mat, belly drawing down, and really feeling the arms heavy, right? We want to give the chest tissue some space here. So deep breath in, and on the exhale, drop your legs over towards the right without coming all the way down, and lengthen through your left arm. So that's through your left chest, all the way out to that left palm. Take another breath, and then take your legs back up, and then over to the left. And again, I'm reaching through my right arm as I draw my legs towards the floor, not to the floor. And then you're going to alternate your own breath. And if I want to straighten the legs, that will make it more difficult. But I really want you to work the reach of the chest in tandem to the dropping of the legs. So you're just going to go whatever pace feels good. And that strap's there just to help you reach. And just keep going, slow and steady with your breath. You can exhale as you drop. Inhale, hold. You can move on exhales. You can just kind of let your breath be natural. So find that active core as your belly draws back so you feel supported in the lumbar. And then keep the shoulder blades getting heavy because they want to lift off the mat, but we want them to stay heavy and rooted so we can get the chest stretch. You'll do that a couple more times on each side. And then last time. And then both feet down. So your thumbs should be facing behind you right now. So feet down. I want you to kind of listen first and then kind of watch, and you can add on if you want. I'm going to let the thumb line roll down as my arms stretch overhead. They might be hovering. And I'm gonna reach, 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 try to keep the chest down. Then I'll come back. And then I might get a little bit tighter in my strap. So I'm getting the straps across the palm, my thumb is facing behind me. And then I stretch the strap, so I grab it and pull it taut. And then as I rotate my thumb line down, my arms go overhead. And I'm getting a big stretch. Kind of that lateral chest. And I'm gonna reach, 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 and then do it a couple more times. Grab the strap, choke up on it. Again, it's on my shoulder blades. And then as I rotate the arms up, my thumb line rolls down. And again, I might be off the mat, that's totally fine. But I wanna keep using the strap to kind of lengthen the side seam of my body. And then we'll do that one more time. And then let it go. Nice work. So you can let the strap go, interlace your hands behind your head and cross your right leg over your left. So it's just a gentle, mild outer hip stretch. So let's slide the lateral foot, that's the outside foot, the pinky, the baby toe line, to the center of the thigh. So that's different than ankle, it's the center of the thigh, the foot. So this gives you a slightly different rotation. Extend your right palm out. So now my chest is open again. And on the exhale, I'm going to bring my left elbow towards my right knee. And if I want to, I can bring the legs closer. And then I'm going to lay it back down and stretch left elbow away from right palm. And then exhale. So it's a little bit of twisting. Inhale, exhale. So I'm trying not to yank on my neck. So I'm using that kind of drawn forward and up of the left elbow. So my shoulder blade is lifting. So similar to what we did in that first initial side stretch. Right shoulder can lift as well, but it's because my palm presses down, not because my shoulder lifts. And we have about 5 more, so keep breathing, exhale. And you don't have to move the legs, so if you're feeling a little bit lower energy, I can lift and keep my legs down. You'll still kind of feel a gentle outer hip stretch. And we'll do one more. And then all the way down. And then grab behind your left thigh if you'd like, and then bring the legs towards you, and you can kind of rock side to side, kind of opening into that right outer hip. You can even slide your weight slightly over to the left a little bit more, and you'll get a little bit more sensation in that right hip. Keep both feet really active as much as you can, especially the right leg. Breathe in, breathe out. And as you're ready, set the foot down and then roll towards the right so that your right thigh is on the mat. And then lift up through your left arm and slightly over to the left. So it's a little bit of a diagonal. And then using your hips, press your hips forward and kind of open up that left frontal hip. And then let it go, switch it out. So right foot down, again, we'll start with the ankle and then we slide to the lateral foot. Okay, right hand behind my head and the left palm can be down or up, you decide. And again, that same work I did with my strap, I pretend I have it, but now I'm gonna kind of just use my imagery. Okay, deep breath in. On the exhale, I lift up and rotate to the left. Legs lift or not. Big breath, stretch apart, exhale. And you're syncing this with your breath. So gently warming the hips. About 4 more. And it's okay for that left shoulder blade to lift as you lift, especially the right. Last one. And then release it down. Interlace your hands behind your right hamstring and pull forward. And then you can rock and roll side to side or hold somewhere. And the more I kind of move my weight over to the right, I get a little bit more sensation down that lateral left side of the hip. And then as you're ready, as the leg comes down, you'll roll that whole leg unit over to the left, and then that right arm extends at that diagonal. The same thing we've done before, we press the ankle into the thigh, let the hips go forward and reach that right arm away. And again, I hope you're kind of feeling that kind of lateral chest thumb line. Really reach, you want that thumb line to really reach and open. And then one more breath. And then we're gonna switch it out, but actually uncross first. Roll up to a seat, and then cross your right ankle over your left thigh. So the same thing we did kind of earlier, we opened the chest. You could stay here, or you can lift up to an altar pose, where we get a little bit more chest opening in. So if you're using if you're lifting, press into that circumference of the left heel, so you have good glute activation, and then press the palms down. So feel even that thumb line stretch wide. One more breath. And then lower down. And then unhook, rehook. And again, if you want your ankle a little further from your hips, you will get a little bit of reprieve from that intensity. And then come on up. Find the circumference of your right heel. So not just the inner or the outer. See if you can really use your imagery to fill in the circle. Stretch your palms apart. And release down, nice. Okay, unhook. And then have your strap, you can have it folded in half. If you're like me and have a really long strap, you can fold it in half, and have it just at the top of your mat. You won't need it right this second, and then you'll need some blocks if you have them. If you don't, it'll be totally fine, but it can be nice to have some height. Okay, so before we begin that, if you want hands on blocks, certainly use that downward facing dog. So even in down dog, can you feel your collarbones spread? Bend and straighten each leg, kind of warm up through the hips a little bit more. Bend and straighten your knees, let the head go. A couple more breaths. And then as you're ready, we're going to step the right leg forward between our hands. And again, I'm going to use blocks that you certainly don't have to. So I'm going to high lunge, but you're welcome to put your knee down. It prohibits sometimes the moving of the scapula. I want you to, just like we did in cow posture, pull the shoulder blades back, lift your chest, pause. So I really want you to feel the shoulder blades draw down, collarbones wider. And then exhale, keeping your legs just as they are, push into your palms and cat your upper back. To feel the upper back relax. And then 2 more times, nice and slow, cow posture. The shoulders draw back, chest lifts. And then exhale. 1 more. And then slowly set the knees down. Pad your knees if you need, grab your strap. I'm going to come up holding the strap, and I'll let my hips come forward. I pull the strap apart a bit so that I feel a little bit of that inner chest work. And then side stretch over to the right. So with my right hand, I'm kind of drawing my left arm up and over. But I am leaning over to the right. Breathe in, breathe out. Then that whole left side stretch. Then come up and then switch the strap so that now you're holding it across the thumb line, tuck your back toes under and come into a high lunge. So now as you kind of rotate the shoulders onto your back and let the thumb line roll towards you, lift your chest, let the arms stretch back. So again, can you let the thumbs reach away from your body? Even if they're down, let them reach away from your body so that you can feel that whole lung line. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in, neck is long, breathing out. 1 more breath. And as you're ready, let go of the strap. You can place it down. And then step and fold forward top of your mat. And just hang here and pedal your legs again if you want. And then as you're ready, we'll take those 2 blocks. You can use a wall or even a stool if you don't have blocks. So if you didn't have access to something like that, or grab a table, or you can just use your shin. There'll definitely be more turkey for that. Now lift your chest, the collarbone spread, take your left leg back, like a standing L. So now I'm lifting the heart, little mini back bend. And I'm gonna do a little curtsy squat. So my right knee bends, and I just tap the outer foot. Come back to that kind of back bend, standing L. And then sit back into my right heel a bit more, and the left leg floats over to the left and hovers. Come back to standing L, and I have a gentle knee bend if I need to. And then let the leg rock back, tap. Come back up, over to the left side. You have 2 more. So this is good hip strengthening. Make sure that inner line of your right foot is nice and stable. Little lighter maybe on the outer foot if you need. Breathe, 1 more. Just hip strengthening. Belly is strong. And then come to that standing L, and then maybe come up to your fingertips and let the chest roll up and forward, like a back bend. Left leg lifts, and then both legs come forward, hands to your waist, come all the way up. Arms stretch up, come into goddess arms and sit back. So I'm weighting my heels, and I'm drawing my shoulder blades back. Twist to the right. Take a deep breath, sit a little lower. Open up. Come back to the center. Arms come up, sit back further. Exhale. Twist to the left. Drawing the elbows back, opening through your heart line. And then as you're ready, arms stretch up. Inhale. 1 open mouth, exhale. Inhale, the arms come up. Exhale, forward fold. Long spine, inhale. Step on back to your shins. We're going to try this, and you'll see if it works for you. We're going to roll towards that right forearm. So if you need to be sitting on something, you can. And we're going to reach the left arm up and reach it towards our right shoulder and allow that to open through the right chest. So on my right forearm, my hips can lift or release. My left arm is reaching up and towards my right shoulder. So it's a little bit of a twist. And I'm pressing through my right forearm. If that doesn't work, come over onto your right hip and do this. So very similar. And my head can release back towards my left arm. Just try it. And again, I'm on my right hip if that doesn't work for my lumbar. And then slowly coming up. We'll go the other side. So reposition. And again, I rolled onto my left forearm first. Right arm reaches up, and then I reach it on back towards my left shoulder. So I'm getting that right lung line as the left chest opens and rolls towards the sky. The left chest joins in the party. One more breath. And then as you're ready, slowly coming up. Both hands come forward. So as you press into the mat, lift your knees and hover. And then step back. Right leg plank, step back, left leg plank. Deep breath in, find your strong plank, collarbones lift. And on your exhale, all the way to your belly. Untuck your toes. You can walk your hands forward or more by your chest. Pull hands back, lift the heart. So really plug into your strong legs and pull those hands back. Heart lifts, collarbones spread. The neck is very easy. One more breath. And then slowly lower it down. Pressing up and back, downward facing dog. Breathe in, breathe out. And then we're going to step that left leg forward. And again, we're going to come to the blocks if you have them, or if you have like a table or like a small chair you can put your hands on, just something. So I'm not in a straight line, my legs are out. I'm going to do that slow cat posture. Shoulders come back, chest lifts. And then exhale. Pull the heel of the hands back. It's like we're doing a cobra. Exhale. 2 more. It's nice and slow because I really want to feel that opening across the collarbones. And then knee comes down, I grab my strap. If you didn't have the strap, I could just have my arms out in a V. So again, it runs across the palm of my hand. And I'm gonna lift up. It's okay for my shoulders to lift as the hips release forward. I side bend to the left. And with my left hand, I'm drawing my right arm up and over. So both arms are pretty active. Thumb lines in a bit, kind of pull apart a bit. And I can let my head go, or I can look down if that's better. Couple more breaths. And then you're just gonna let the arms go. Switch, so now the palms face the back of your mat. As I'm ready, shoulders onto my back, tuck the back toes under, come into a high lunge. And now, as I roll the thumb line towards the low back, I release that strap away from my body. So I wanna get that bicep line. That's the lung channel when I really open it up. Big breaths. Neck is long, jaw is easy. And as I'm ready, I'm gonna set the strap down to the front of my mat, and I'll step into that standing L. So you can be on your fingertips or on your palms, but it's a little bit of a back bend. The belly needs to be strong. Send that right leg over to the left, tap. Come straight behind you. Over to the right and hover. Straight behind you. Over to the left. Straight behind you. Keep your abs strong, keep the hips strong. Just kind of waking up the whole hip joint. Use your breath. And then last time, come into that standing L. Lift your heart. You're on the blocks. And then lower down, forward fold. Soften into your legs. And then bend those knees, hands at your waist. Come all the way up to standing. Arms come up. Exhale, sit back. Turn and twist to the right. So I'm going to really pull open the chest. And I'm going to hinge forward. So I keep the chest open and then bring the hands together. Can I still keep the chest open? Elbows up. And if I want to hook, I can. But I want to look down and make sure that, although my hips might be, or my knees might not be completely level, I don't want them to be too much, right? Just a little bit. And now keep turning the chest up as the thumbs roll down towards your sternum notch. One more breath. And then come back up, goal post arms. Sit back as you draw the elbows back. And then bringing, twisting and then hinging. And then bringing the hands together. So my feet are not together. That's better for my low back. You're welcome to have feet together. So keep rolling the chest up. Rolling that thumb line towards your sternum. One more breath. And then exhale, fold. Long spine. Exhale down. Come to kneeling on your shins. And then this time, we're going to come up to standing on our knees. So you can tuck your toes or untuck. It's really just a preference for your foot positioning and what gives you stability. Some people don't like the stability feel of the foot flat. Okay? So hands first at your prayer hands. So we're just going to glide back a bit and glide forward. Keeping the belly tone and the bodies in one straight line. Chest is open. Just a few more times. Just want you to warm up through the legs a little bit more. Feel the strength of your legs. And then slowly come up. We're going to take that right arm up. We're going to bend the elbow and we're going to do a little tricep stretch. So I'm going to let that right arm come back a bit, and then I'm going to fold down towards the floor. And maybe my right elbow gets to the floor and my hips can reach away from that right elbow. You can place it on a block too. And then using the strength of your core, come all the way up. And then take your right hand to your small of your back and reach up and back.
So that shoulder moves back. If you want to reach to your heel, you can, or to a block. So I'm reaching up, my hips are forward, and I'm stretching up and back. And then you can take your left hand, just like we did when we were kneeling, over to the back of your head so you have support. And then really reach that left elbow away from the right palm. And then slowly sink back. Roll it round and release and come up. Okay? We'll do the second side. So as you're ready, the left arm comes up, bicep to ear. Hand comes back and right arm comes to the top of your elbow. So you just try to draw your arm bone back a bit. And it's a little bit of a side stretch to your right. So just breathing in, breathing out. Then folding forward, so hinge at your hips. And lay your left elbow on a block or the floor, and then let the hips send back as your left elbow presses down, just gently. And then press through your shins. It's going to help that good strength of the front body slowly come up. And then again, hand can come to the small of your back, towards your thigh, towards your heels or a block, and then reach up and back. Hips press forward. And then maybe hand comes to the back of your neck, and then reaching that right elbow up. And then I'm going to sit back and around as I come around. And then both arms reach up. Exhale. Both arms up. And then hands to the floor. And then we're going to step on back to downward facing dog. Take a couple moments in down dog. And then shift your weight forward to a plank pose, smile those collarbones. And then all the way down to the floor. Locust pose. So you can go thumbs down, pinky fingers up, draw the shoulder blades up, and then reach again those thumb lines away from your chest. Lift the legs. Neck is long. And release it down. Both hands come in, press to plank, and then down dog once more. Settle into your breath. Just notice how it's shifting and changing. Okay, we'll step the right leg forward for a high lunge or a warrior two. You decide. Slowly come on up. We'll take our hands behind our head and we'll widen the elbows to the degree we can feel that chest stretch. And then I'm going to take a little side bend to the right. So I'm going to kind of pry the elbows apart as I do this. So if warrior one bothers your low back, come to high lunge. We want to make sure the back leg feels firmly rooted and I'm not twisting my hips. Breathing in, breathing out. One more breath. And then you'll take those arms all the way back and form a clasp. Okay? We'll bring the heel of the hands towards one another a bit, but we'll hover the thumb line away from the body. So it's a very active through the biceps. Heel your back foot up, or your back heel up, and drop through that left knee. So again, I'm drawing the shoulders on my back, and the thumb line pulls away to hover. It should be a pretty intense arm work, as well as chest stretch. Couple more breaths. Release your clasp, take the hands down into the floor. That baby back bend, or you can bring hands to the heart. And then just drop and hold here, sitting the outer edge of your left foot on the floor and lifting your chest. So it should be a nice little lateral hip stretch. You can kind of lean towards your right foot a bit. Side stretch if you want. Or hands at the block. My heart is lifting. Bring your hands back in, and then take it out to the side and hover. And again, you can balance for 3, 2, and then bring the leg back. This is your last one. Bend the knee, lift the heel, lift the heart. So it's like a back bend meeting warrior 3. And as you're ready, stand tall. Arms reach up. Lift your left knee up and then interlace and clasp. Lift your chest. Take another deep breath. Then as you're ready, you're going to step the left leg back and then flip the palms to face up. And then really reach up. And open up warrior two. So heel to arch. We're going to turn the palms to face up, and I want you to reach through your heart line. So from the sternum out through the thumb line, and can you reach those two parts away? Breathe in and breathe out. One more time. And as you're ready, cartwheel your hands down to the floor. Plank pose to downward facing dog. Breathe in and breathe out. We'll nice and slowly lift the hips, and then we'll roll into the wrists and the shoulders get in one line. Then as you're ready, pull the heart forward, smile the collarbones, and come into an upward dog. You want your knees down, do that, or come to the tops of your feet. You can bend and reach straighten elbows, but reach the heart, reach back to the feet. And as you're ready, knees down, child's pose. And then come forward all fours to downward facing dog. So last time through for our standing sequence, left leg forward, warrior one or high lunge. And as you're ready, come on. So we're going to take that side stretch, so arms behind your back. And the elbows aren't pried too far back, right, to feel kind of dissociation of the scapula onto the rib cage, but enough that I feel the chest stretch. Then I'm going to reach up and lean towards the left. Breathing, finding the strength of my legs, opening through that right heart line. Then slowly coming back, reaching the arms back behind me, and then bringing those hands in. Heel to hands is open, and then I'm going to draw first the thumbs towards me as I bend the elbows, but I won't touch the low back. Pry your back heel up and drop through that thigh. Then take some nice deep breaths. It should be really active bicep work. Relax your neck. Releasing the arms, place them forward, and you're in that standing bent knee L work. Then one time, tap the outer right foot towards the floor. And again, I can have my hands at my heart, and I can lean to the left a bit. That gives me that outer hip stretch, that heart opening. Find that big toe side of your left foot. And then the hands come down, the leg lifts up. Then I go out to the left to hover, or I could put the foot down if that's too much, and lift up and hold for 3, 2, 1. And then swing the leg back, and if I can, hands to the heart, and I lift the chest as I lift the leg. And then as I'm ready, standing forward, fold for a moment. Just let it, take a little break. And then bend the knees, come up. And then interlace the hands so you can draw your shin bone toward you and lift your chest. Just release the low back. And then flip the palm as you step the right leg back, lift up. Maybe an upward gaze helps lift the energy. Open up warrior two. And this again, we roll the palms to face open, and I want you to put all your awareness, you can look towards the side, about reaching from your heart out that thumb line. And try to get more and more opening through the thumb line, wherever you want to gaze. One more breath. And then cartwheel the hands down to the floor. Come to kneeling. So you can use either your hips pressed against the wall, or we'll use our blocks. So you tuck or untuck the toes. Walk your fingertips to the blocks to the small of your back. And we're going to, again, lift the chest as we hinge back just a bit. So remember we were doing this before. So you do just a little bit of this to get the lift and to maybe reach your blocks, and then press the hips further forward. So my shoulders are back. That thumb line is rooting into my blocks or the small of my back. My heart is lifting. Try to breathe as deeply as you can. One more breath. And then as you're ready, slowly coming up. And then sitting back just to rest the low back. So just take a moment to take that in. Big poses. So just a gentle twist to the right. So right hand can come to the small of your back, left hand across the thigh. If you want to look over your left shoulder, you can do that. That can kind of add a double twist. And then switch it out. Go to the left. And then back into the center. So if you need to sit differently, do that. I'm going to face you for this one. We're going to breathe in 3 parts, slow, continuous exhale. So we breathe in a third, thumb rolls back, breathe in another third, breathe all the way in, turn your palms to face out, slow, continuous exhale out. 3 more rounds, breathe in a third, another third, all the way in, as much as you can take in, slow, continuous breath all the way out. Breathe in a third, fill up the belly, fill up the side body, fill up the chest and heart. Slow, continuous breath out. And here's our last one. Breathe in a third. 1 more. All the way. And then slow, continuous breath out. Nice. So you're going to form on your back. I'm going to give you some options. So we did this one on Tuesday, maybe. You can form the double block here. That can be something for you to do. And your spine would be on this on your head or your upper back. That's one option if you liked the blocks. Otherwise, you can use the blanket roll. And you can make the roll. And you can just lie over this with your shoulder blades, right? So you're just going to find some way to lift the heart. Okay, so I'm going to have you place the ankle behind the knee so we get that right lateral hip, and then the arms are going to reach up and out. So I could also be doing this on the blocks. So make sure you ask if you're not sure. So it's right on the shoulder blade so I feel the heart lift. And so with the ankle behind the knees, you get a little bit of lateral hip. If you don't like that, you don't want to have to remember to switch, you could go Baddha Konasana, or I could go straight legs. So we're going to take some moments of time to find this shape. Let me know if you've got questions about the blocks. I'll show you those too. So this would be the spine. That would be the head. And I would have this close to my sacrum, and I would lie over it. So we just want to lift the heart space up. And let some breath go into the body with more intention. So noticing again, if the inhale is more easeful than the exhale, so kind of check back into that. Check back in with breathing in and out through more the right or the left. The side of the body is more active. And then noticing the overall quality of the breath. Is it difficult to take in deep breaths? Does it feel easeful?
And just noticing the mind. So noticing how the mind is shifted, if at all. So first, just noticing the quality of your thoughts. Are they heavy? Are they light? Are they fast? Are they slow? What's the overall energy, feel of the mind? And then just let that go. And just allow yourself to relax for a couple moments. Soften your jaw and your tongue. Soften your eyes. And if your legs are in Baddha Konasana, go ahead and put them more in a flat foot, neutral hip position. So stay there for another moment. I'm just going to talk you through coming up nice and slow. So if your arms are out to the side, slowly bring them back down and in so that you can kind of press up with your hands to lift your head, and then kind of maybe roll to the side if you need a moment before you come right up. That can be kind of an intense pose. And then we'll just come to any neutral position to sit, whatever that looks like for you. So if you want to palpate any part around that thumb line that you pressed before, just to check out if there's any change, you can do that. Otherwise, we'll end with our Garuda mudra. So the left hand is behind the right. Hook your thumb. So you can place it on your heart, on your mind, which is wherever we're cultivating that liberation, that ability to rise above like preconceived blocks or limitations or anything that feels resistant, so that we can feel more free, feel more wise, feel more open, perceptive. So just take 5 deep breaths. And then letting your hands touch together at some point, either on your heart or together. Acknowledging your practice, acknowledging your power to be your best healer, to be your best inspiration towards feeling your best, being your best, and being the most aware of what your body, your mind, your spirit needs at all times. Thank you for practicing this morning, friends. It's so awesome to gather with you. I hope you have an awesome day. I hope we all breathe better and feel better in our minds. Namaste.